Welcome to Ammijaan's kitchen. Jambo, hello, salam alaikum and namaste. Today we are going to make curried potato. So let's start by introducing you to what you will need to make curried potatoes. The first thing I have here is about potatoes chopped and parboiled is what I was going to say, because I like them a little bit parboiled because potatoes tend to take a long time to cook. So if they're parboiled, they become softer with the sauce a lot faster. So that's that. These here are curry leaves. You have been introduced to these before. We used them when we made the chickpea. And then here, the light colored is garlic and ginger. The dark green one that you see is my cilantro and chili paste. And then there's a fresh green chili here. And here, we'll go with this one first. Our mustard seeds. These seeds go with the curry leaves. We've done this before in our chickpea video, so that's kind of a repeat. The dark color of the powder you see here is cumin, and the little splash of white that you see is citric acid. And then here we have coriander powder, and then lastly we have our turmeric powder. And then here are some crushed tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes are good as well, but these ones are crushed straight from a tin, so optional. You can use any kind of tomatoes as long as they're nice and red and juicy. So there we go. So our first step is to turn on the gas, and I'm going to put it at about 5 and 6 right now, and put some oil in the pan. This is my ginger oil, so I'm going to mix the ginger oil and chili oil, and it's olive oil, but it doesn't have to be. You can use whatever oil you want. So we want enough oil so we can actually fry the mustard seeds and the curry leaves. So there we are, just enough to coat the bottom, and we'll let it come to a nice heat. The oil has to be hot for the mustard seeds to pop. We did this as well in the previous video of our chickpea one. I'm just going to add a little bit to make sure the entire surface is coated. I've added the mustard seeds and the curry leaves, and just like the previous one, we're going to wait till they actually pop. So you can already hear the oil, but that's just the water from the curry leaves. Not that they're moist, but they might have had a little moisture, but the mustard seeds have not popped yet, so we're going to wait till they actually pop. The little crackling you hear is the curry leaves cooking. So let's just give it a stir. So you can see them popping, and it's so important that they pop, otherwise the mustard seeds taste bitter, and sometimes you almost have to wonder that surely they must already have popped, but no, wait till you actually see it popping right up, and you can see them coming up towards the glass that we have here in the lid, and I can totally hear them, and I'm sure you can too. So we'll take it to the next step. And actually here, what I prefer to do normally is have a little bit of liquid to stop that popping. So in this case, I think I'm going to throw my garlic and ginger in. So I'm going to turn it right down. And there, I can actually smell them now. So there you can see the seeds popping. Oops, and cover it. I should have had a little bit of water ready, but it doesn't matter. We've got the garlic and ginger, and that was liquid enough. So we'll put that in for a minute. So I've added a little bit of water because that should have been there. That's the way the mustard seeds will soften up. If you don't add the water, they'll still keep frying from the heat. You want to stop the frying process. And in order to do that, you need to add a liquid. And in this case, it was water. The garlic and ginger, like I said, had a little bit of moisture because it came from the freezer. But a drop of water, so we'll say about a tablespoon or half a tablespoon. So that was our garlic, ginger, mustard seeds, curry leaves, and now we're going to go with the rest of the spice. There's the turmeric, and this one is the coriander, and this one with a little bit of citric acid in it is the cumin. And now let's just cook all this up a little bit. Always try and cook your spices a little bit before you introduce the tomato or the broth or whatever it is that you will be adding. In this case, it'll be the tomatoes. So let's just cook this a little bit, and it's on a low heat between 2 and 3, just for it to sort of amalgamate all the flavors together. So it's cooking nicely. We've got all the spices happening here, and did you want to bring this in one more time and just show the nice mixture of all the flavors? You can see the oil starting to float up a little bit on the top. And now we're going to add the tomato. Now sometimes in all our busy lifestyles, you could actually do this process when you know you're having some guests coming over for a barbecue and you wanted to make a side dish. You could do this part and leave it in the fridge once it's cooked. And then on the day, all you do is get those potatoes parboiled and add to them. So that way it could be a quick thing to do, because this portion of it can be, I don't know about freezing it, but you can definitely refrigerate it for up to 3 days in the fridge. So something that to think about if you're planning a party or a get together. And we find curried potatoes go very well with anything barbecued or chicken roasted in the oven or even steaks. So that's another way to use them. And now there we are. We're going to let all these flavors amalgamate again, but go ahead and add the potato. So, and the potato pieces can be up to your choice. You could cut them smaller, you could cut them a little bit bigger, doesn't matter. You can decide that. So there, just make sure everything mixes in nicely. And then at this point, because we know the potatoes are parboiled, but we all know how potatoes take a while to cook, this one seems to be nice, just enough sauce sticking to the potatoes. But at this point, I would add some water, because what you really want is, other than it just sticking to it, I want the potatoes now to thoroughly cook. So we're going to add some water, cover the lid, and turn it right down on minimum. And that's basically your potatoes done until you're ready to garnish and serve.
Yep.
So there's the water added. You can see there's just enough water for it to cook. And as we said earlier, we're just going to put the lid on it, bring it to a little bit of a boil, and then turn it down on minimum for a good half hour or so, and then we'll check it again. Okay, so we left the water in the curried potato, covered it up until they were nice, soft and tender, and all the water is absorbed. So here we are, we have plated it out. This is our curried potato that we made, and this is another video. Please check it out. It's the tandoori chicken with tandoori prawns, and they're a perfect accompaniment with the curried potato. So hope you enjoy this, and please like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you very much for joining me at Ammijaan Kitchen. Have a good day.
रस्ते पे